This is Design Variety. I'm John Darrigan, and let's get started.
What you want is what you'll see. If you're looking for it, you'll find it. If you're looking for it, you'll find it.
Great show for you today, including a UX research conference that's just around the corner, the story of one designer's career journey, and a tool that will take the interactivity of your next prototype to a whole other level. Coming up just around the corner is the UXRConf 2023. It's happening on June 7th to 9th, and it's an online conference, which means pretty much any of you can watch and attend this event, and it's shaping up to be an amazing conference if you're a UX researcher or are interested in user research. It is 3 days back-to-back of amazing content. Day one is basically product demo day. So think of some of the leading industry tools such as Lookback, Maze, Tremendous, user interviews. All of these companies are sending out some of their experts to show you the features, how they work, and to show you these tools in action. I think this is a fantastic way to see these tools from the people that are the experts in using them. So if you've never used Lookback before for doing usability testing, now's your chance to kind of go and see, is this a tool that can help in your research? Then we get into the meat of it. For the next 2 days, there's one after another of research experts giving what looks to be an amazing lineup of topics that they're talking about. And these are researchers from global brands from around the world, very familiar names and very senior veterans in the industry. It is going to be amazing. Here's the thing you may not have saw at the beginning of this segment. The tickets are absolutely free, no joke. And from what I can see, no strings attached. It really is the real deal. And from the last email that I received from the organizers, there's well over 1,000 attendees. So I've got my ticket and I look forward to seeing all of you at UXRConf. Stumbled upon this really interesting little gem. And it's by a designer that is basically reflecting back on their almost 20-year experience in the design industry. And they're kind of looking back and taking stock of all the things that had happened to them and the things that they loved and learned about this industry. And it's just done in such a caring way. It's just really a nice piece. It's written and made by Fabrizio Teixeira, which is a pretty cool name for a designer. And it's just this amazing collection of bits and pieces, some written, some illustrations, some photography, and it all nicely comes together. And I can imagine being a junior designer and getting my hands on this and having somebody that had gone through all of these learnings through their career and then sharing them in this nice piece like this could save a lot of heartache down the road. You know, you can learn these things earlier on in your career and gain from other people's expertise and experience. So it's well worth the read, and it's just beautifully prepared. So strongly recommend. For many of you, if you wanted to do a prototype of the design that you've just done, you'd often look to the inbuilt prototyping features of the UI tool that you designed it in. So whether that's Sketch, Figma, or PenPot, they all have these super convenient inbuilt features to create clickable prototypes. Now, anybody that has relied on these inbuilt features, and they are a godsend because it puts everything in the same environment, making your workflow really easy, does realize pretty quick it doesn't take a lot of imagination to hit on the cap of what these systems are capable of doing. The limitations become apparent. There are rumors on the grapevine that some of the new features that are coming out in upcoming versions will help to address some of these shortcomings. But if you really want to level up on your productivity in building very interactive prototypes, I have a recommendation for you. Axure RP is an advanced interactive prototyping tool. Its features and capabilities are so good that if you spend the time to master this product, you'll be able to create a totally different level of prototypes to the point where their realism is so incredible that stakeholders will think you've actually developed the end product. No joke. And it basically does this through a combination of features that are not typically found in the UI tools, or at the very least, they're very light in their implementation in other tools. Whereas this basically just gives you this visual editor to tell it what you want to have happen in different events and situations and allow conditional logic to make it do whatever you want it to do. It really is incredible. So when you're doing things like forms, typically those are just hot spotted and you really can't input anything into them. They're just dumb looking graphics. However, when you build them in Axure, they are fully functioning HTML input forms. So this means that, say for example, you're doing usability testing, you can actually watch how people interact with these forms in a much more realistic way, and also do validation and error handling and all of these things that create a greater sense of realism to what they're going to encounter on your end product. Additionally, things like multi-state containers, which is basically just dynamic panels, allow you to swap panels of content depending on what you want shown at any given time. This is a very effective way to give it sort of a more engaging and realistic behavior to the interface. It also allows you to use data sources for extra realism. Say, for example, you have an e-commerce site and you want it to be populated with some of your real products. You can do that with Axure. It's very cool. And adaptive views is basically this their way of saying we can do responsive design in these prototypes. So you can target all of the normal tablet, phone, desktop, and whatever you want in your prototype. Something that often gets overlooked is the stuff that really helps to get the product developed properly. And that's things like specification documents and really good annotations to accompany your prototype. So when you hand it over to the developers, they have a very descriptive set of details on how to program and what the behaviors are, all of the sort of non-visual stuff. They can get a very detailed view of what to do in the development of the product. It's really quite amazing. You can download a trial and test it out yourself. For a long time, they had perpetual licenses. Unfortunately, they've gone the route that everybody seems to be going these days and going to the subscription model. But you can trial it to see, is this a product that can really help with your prototypes, and in particular, when you're doing usability testing, being able to take the realism of those tests to a whole other level. Thanks for joining me. If you liked the episode, give it a like. If you loved it and you want to see more, subscribe and share it with the designers in your life. See you next time on Design Variety.